Just like example 1, this says solve each by graphing. So the two things you're going to graph is you're going to graph y equals 3 because that's your left side of your equation. And you're going to graph y equals the absolute value of 3x squared minus 3. So now we have to review how do we graph parabolas. Okay, y equals 3. That's easy to graph. Where the y value is always 3, that is a horizontal line at y equals 3. 3x squared minus 3. So if I first graph this parabola, where's the vertex of that parabola? At 0, negative 3. So I have a vertex at 0, negative 3. If the a value is 3, what does that mean? Is this one going up or down? Up. So you're going to go over 1, up 3, over 1, up 3. So we'll have the point 1, 0, and negative 1, 0. Then you're going to go over 1, up 6. No. Up 9. So next you'll go over 1, up 9. So we'll have the point 2, 9, and negative 2, 9. So this is my parabola. I'm drawing it with a dotted line to begin with, because we want to graph the absolute value. What does the absolute value do? It takes whatever's negative and flips it up over. Whatever's positive, so this section and this section will stay the same. But here, it's going to get flipped over. So where do these graphs intersect? They intersect here at 0, 3. They intersect here and here. But unfortunately, those ones are not super easy to see from our graph because they don't fit a point perfectly. It's somewhere between 1 and 2. We could use our graphing calculator to find it out exactly. And once we learn how to do this algebraically, we're going to be able to do that as well. For right now, we're just going to estimate them. So somewhere between, I'll use the 1.4, 3, negative 1.4, 3. And we'll look at how we could do this algebraically afterwards. But for now, we're just going to say use an estimate. I'll show you how you can find it on your calculator. So on your calculator, if you clear out any graphs that you had, you type in 3 into one equation, and you type in the absolute value of 3x squared minus 3. To get the absolute value, you have to hit your math button and go over to number. Absolute value, 3x squared minus 3. You find it by hitting your math button and then go over to, so the math button's right here, and then you go over to number. So what you can do on your graphing calculator is you can go second, calculate, find out where they intersect. And it will always find the intersection closest to the cursor. So I move my cursor over there, push enter, 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 and it is 1.41. Anybody recognize that number, 1.41? to square root of 2. No, you're not supposed to. So recap. When I wanted to find the absolute value when I was in y equals, to get those absolute value, on some of the older calculators it'll go ABS with brackets. You hit the math button and then arrow over to number. And the ABS is your absolute value. Okay, part B. You're going to just make part A a little bit smaller. Everybody got part A down? Part B. So we're going to graph y equals negative 2. And we're going to graph y equals the absolute value of 2x squared plus 4x minus 1. And we're going to take the time. So where is y equals negative 2? That's horizontal line right here at negative 2. And if I wanted to graph 2x squared plus 4x minus 1, what do I have to do? Put it into that other form, right? What's the technique? Complete the square. So we're going to factor the 2 out of the first two terms and leave a space with the minus 1. What number would be in here so that it makes a perfect square? Plus 1. If I added 1 in there, what do I have to subtract after? 2. Why is it 2? Because that 2 out in front would hit it. And so now factoring this becomes x plus 1 squared minus 3. And so what does our parabola look like? Because you always do the opposite, because if I added 2, I need to subtract 2. All right? So now that we have the vertex form, we know that our vertex is at negative 1, negative 3. It opens up. The a value is 2, so you can go over 1 up 2, then over 1 up 6. This is the parabola if we wanted to graph the absolute value of that parabola. These parts would stay the same, and this section would flip over. Where does the green graph and the blue graph intersect? They don't. So this one has no solution, which you could have done without even graphing. When is the absolute value of something equal to a negative? Never. And so there is no solution. Okay, so question number 7 and 5b. And I'll let you do those examples from example 1 and example 2.